First time I ever decided to get really serious about creating wealth, it was 2007. I must have been about 21 at the time, and I was in university. I'd just gotten back from backpacking around Canada. After high school, I went backpacking around Canada for about 8 months by myself, and I spent every dollar I had, basically. I got back and I went to university. Didn't know what I wanted to do, so I ended up starting with philosophy and psychology. Don't ask me how I got that combination. And then I started changing it to economics and psychology, and then finance and economics. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I was about 4 years into this degree, this combination of half-done degrees, which I never finished, by the way. I'm a college dropout, so I don't have any degrees. But around 2007, while at university, I decided to get very serious about becoming wealthy. I just decided that I don't want to grow up to have the same experience around money that I saw my parents go through all of their lives, where money was just a constant struggle. So I remember the moment very clearly. Okay, what I'd done is I'd started a little lawn mowing business. Okay, I started handing out flyers and saying that I will come and mow your lawn, or I'll come and do your gardening if you pay me, like $12 an hour. And this was in Perth, Australia. And I remember going and doing a job, and it took me maybe 3 or 4 hours, and they gave me this crisp $50 Australian bill. Okay? And I remember getting back to my dorm room, because I was staying at a dormitory through university, and I remember sitting at my desk looking at this $50, and I decided I'm not going to put this in my wallet, because if I put it in my wallet, I know I'm just going to spend it. It's just going to slip through my fingers. So I turned around and I put it in the closet behind me, and I had a blazer like this, and I remember putting it in the pocket. And I said, this $50 note is going to be the beginning of my fortune, and I'm going to start really creating true wealth. And then every few days I would go and do one of these little lawn mowing gigs, and I would get another $50 each time. And I would take the $50 and I would put it in my blazer pocket. And after a couple of months, I actually had saved up about $3,000 or $4,000 cash. Okay? And I didn't spend any of it. As it was coming in, I was very disciplined that I would never touch the money in my coat pocket. Okay? I wasn't allowed to do that. So after I had about $4,000, I remember walking down to the bank. I took the cash and I said, I want to open a special account and put this money in it. And they gave me this high interest account, and I think it was paying about 5% per year or something like that. And this account, if I took money out of it, I would lose the interest for that month. Okay? So I was very disciplined. I made sure I never took money out of it. I had this mentality of, I've got to feed the bank account. Okay, I've got to feed the bank account every single day. So what I would do is I would go and do one of my little gardening jobs, and no matter how much cash they gave me, whether it was $50 or whether it was only $20, I would walk down to this bank branch on our university campus. I would walk in and I would say, I want to deposit this cash. And they looked at me like I was crazy, because I was going in there sometimes depositing $10. They thought, what are you doing? And they got to know me pretty well, because sometimes I'd go in there twice a day. All right. So after a time, I'd started to build up quite a substantial amount. I kept on doing this for over 3 years. For over 3 years, that bank account never had a single withdrawal. And I would go online every single day. I would log in and I would look at the bank balance. Okay. Because when you're focused on something, when you make it like a primary focus in your life, creating financial freedom, it's much easier to be disciplined. Okay, so I would make sure every single day I had this mentality of, I've got to feed the bank account. So before I knew it, I had about $70,000 saved up. Now I'm walking around on the university campus. I must have been about 22, 23 or something like that at this time, and everyone around me, other students, do you think they had this wealth mentality? Students? No, not at all. They're all complaining about how broke they are, and I'm walking around with $70,000 in the bank account. And I thought, what's wrong with all of you people? Okay, why don't you have this same mentality of creating financial freedom? But I thought to myself, by the end of this year, my goal is to get to $100,000. So what I did is I typed this up on a piece of paper just like this. I printed it off, about 5 copies, and I put it all throughout my house, or the little apartment I was renting. I put it next to my desk, I put it on my bathroom mirror, I even put it on the ceiling above my bed. So when I woke up, I would see this, okay? And my goal became, I want to have a net worth of $100,000 by December 31st, 2008. Now, by this point, I knew that I wasn't going to get there earning $12 or $15 per hour. So what do you think I did? Went to Google and typed in, how do you make money online? And that one little innocent search, that was the beginning of Mobe. That's how this whole thing started, just from a little Google search.